to take you through the casting process of the sculpture that I did the mold for last week. I'm going to be using a product called Material One. It's a great product to use. It's non-toxic and it's also water-based, so cleaning is an absolute breeze. Now, as always, I've prepared everything. My mold is ready. I've got stirring sticks. My nuts and bolts are ready that I'm going to use to close the mold. And then I've also measured out the products. There is the resin, one part of that, 2 parts of the Material One filler, and 100 grams of the marble dust. Now, for this project I'm not going to use any pigment. I quite like the color that I get with the Material One and the marble dust. When this comes out the mold, I just clean up the seam a little bit and then just give it a light rub with some steel wool just to take the worst shininess off. So I'm going to get the cameras in closer and we can get going. I'm going to start by mixing in the resin powder. As I stir, I'm going to sift this in. For bigger quantities, it is advisable to use a mixing attachment on a drill, but for small quantities like this, I find that mixing by hand actually works quite well. Once you've got all the powder mixed in, just give it a good vigorous stir. And then we're going to add in the marble dust. And again, just give that a really good mix. You'll see that you end up with a really nice sort of creamy, even consistency. And now I'm going to just apply a layer inside the silicone skin, and then I will place this in the mold and pour the rest of the material. I'm now just going to hold the mold open and then use a stirring stick. And place some of the material inside the mold. I found with a previous one that I had some little surface bubbles, so this just prevents that. Now we're just going to place this into the mold. Make sure everything seats in nicely. And then just to help mat things, just give it a little bit of a spray with some dishwashing liquid. And that just lubricates everything up nicely. I'm just going to apply a little bit more with a stirring stick, and then I'm going to clamp it into the vise and pour in the rest of the material. Now we're just going to pour in the rest of the mix into the mold. I do overfill it ever so slightly. I can always sand that little bit off. Now I'm just going to leave this to set and then demold it. Now because this is water based, the material only reaches full strength once the piece comes out the mold. So you want to demold this as quickly as possible. Okay, it's been about an hour since I've cast this, and the material is hardened sufficiently that I can actually now demold it. I'm just going to take these little bolts off. Now this material hasn't reached its full hardness yet, so one has to be a little bit careful in doing this. Carefully going to pop off the backing mold. And pop the sculpture out. There we go. Now I'm going to set this aside to dry, and then we'll finish the final surface. Okay, so the next step is to clean off the seam line and to just true up the base of the sculpture. There is a little bit of a seam there. It's not too serious. Obviously you don't go in there with a big file. You still have to do this sensitively. I find that these little needle files actually work really well. Okay, that base is ready now, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 2 5mm holes in there, and then embed these threads probably about 20mm into the sculpture, so that I can mount this securely onto the base. I'm just going to polish up the base in the meantime. Now again, I'm using this absolutely stunning wax by Pro Nature. I'm just applying the wax quite liberally. Okay, I'm just finishing off this base, applying this absolutely beautiful natural wax that's manufactured by Pro Nature in Cape Town. And you can see how beautifully it brings out the natural colour and the beauty of this piece of wood. I'm just going to leave this to soak in a little bit and pop over to the workshop and get the holes drilled in the bottom of the sculpture. Okay, now that that's done, I'm just going to mix up a little bit of this Pratley quickset. All of that aside. Okay, now I'm just going to work a little bit of this into the hole. Just to make sure that we get a really good bond. And then apply some to the thread as well. Then insert it. It helps rotating the thread counterclockwise, as it actually feeds the glue deeper into the hole, and so doing ensuring a really good fit. Okay. Now I'm just going to give the base a little bit of a buff. Oh man, I love this wood polish. It's just the most amazing product. Right. Once these threads are set up, then I can actually mark the two holes, drill that into the base. And then they're a little bit short, so I'm going to have to countersink quite a bit down the bottom. But this needs about 20 minutes to set, so I'm just going to leave that, and I'll get back to this just now. My word, this day has just run away from me. It's now 6:30. Okay, that's all set. I've drilled the holes into the base. So now I'm just going to pop that in and then tighten the two little nuts. It's one of those cases where you need tweezers for fingers. There we go. Perfect. And I'm just going to just give the sculpture a bit of a rub down with some steel wool, just to even out the surface a little bit. It's not really taking any of the detail away, just giving it a nice matte finish. Right, there she is, all complete. This is the first in an edition of 10, so I've got 9 more of these to do, but I'm very happy with the way this came out. I hope you enjoyed this. Please remember to subscribe and share, and I'll catch you on the next one. Good night.